Hello, a very good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Kanini Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Such a pleasure to always have you on board. Remember, this is your go-to point on matters, public governance, policy, and of course, everything political that is happening in this country. Here we are. Now, I'm joined here by Wakili Willie Sutino, who is more than glad to help me dissect some of these things that are actually taking place within. Wakili, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, the Langata Member of Parliament, of course, Jalango there in Azi, is commonly known, of course, Felix Uduorko, made some statement that, of course, he was the first person to cross over and join the government. That is what he's saying. And he was criticized for that matter. But right now, things have changed. And whenever Baba goes to the State House, then he's the one there serving tea and doing all that. Of course, this statement didn't go well with a number of people, so to say. But then here we are. The kind of working relationship that we're witnessing between the president and the former prime minister with regards to the AU quest and all that, do you view it as some sort of a handshake, or rather what the likes of the Langata Member of Parliament puts it to be?
You know, one thing that we must deal with, first, Jalango is making baseless, stupid comments. Those are the kind of quality of debates or discussions you expect from a leader, that my work is to serve tea in State House. I mean, that's why the people of Langata voted for him, to serve tea in State House. And people need to take their job seriously. And even if you're using an analogy, try to use one that is commensurate with your position and standing. It's even the meaning of the people of Langata for their leader to say that I'm serving tea in State House. I mean, is that how cheap we have become? That we measure leadership based on who is serving Raila Odinga tea in State House? That's one. Number two, I need to say this. You know, the moment Baba expressed interest to go for the AU position, and being a continental position, and voting is done by respective states, countries. Despite the fact that he ran against William Ruto in the last election, competing for a global position in these public body, I mean the international bodies, bring together nations, it requires state lobby. Because people vote based on states. So despite them competing, now Baba expressing ambition, by its nature the Kenyan state must take a position. Because they must take ownership, so to speak, because it is Kenya's turn. It just happens that the person who Kenya as a country is now fronting, or who has expressed interest to get that position, was your opponent in the last election. So in a way you must be forced at some point to bridge. And I always say politics is not a blood sport. That once you're done with elections, you carry each other's heads like gladiators. No, it's not a blood sport. You can still find commonalities of interest in particular instances. And in this particular instance, Raila going to AU, in his own stead and his own right, he has built his own networks across the region and the continent, that he can still try to push a campaign without the state. But also for the Kenyan state, of what value will it be to have a high-profile candidate from your country running a regional continental campaign without your involvement or participation? So it is not a UDA campaign. It is now a Kenyan state. And the Kenyan state encompasses those who are in Kenya Kwanza and even those who are in other political parties and the institutions of government. So it is not a handshake in my view. It is more of now a working relationship for the purposes of this Kenyan state project, not a NUDA or a Kenya Kwanza project. So their working together is limited to this particular special interest that brings them together. So the Kenyan state must support it, and Raila also will have to be forced, and even by nature of the position itself, he'll have to be forced to limit his engagement in local politics, even the run-up to the campaigns. Because you don't want to be engaged fully, as you were before, in a way that starts putting pressure on the Kenyan state. Then you minimize potential areas of conflict for you to pursue the continental quest. So it is not a handshake, but it is a forced working relationship for the Kenyan state.
Here we are. Definitely, I've heard this kind of statements being made by the Kisumu Center, Professor Tom Ojienda, and of course the ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo, talking of the region should actually unite and talk of actually politics of development. They're saying let's not have some sort of divisive politics right now. If at all we're supposed to be talking, then let's talk of politics of development therein. What do you make of their assertions here in their questions? Actually, they're asking the biggest question, because here they are. They're saying that they actually engaged with the president based on the interests of the community and just to bring development closer to the people. And the question is now being asked here. Of course, that is being asked from them, particularly here, is this. Why is it right when the former Prime Minister actually works with the President, but it's wrong for them to do so?
But who has stopped them from working with the President? They are doing so. I mean, they are doing so even today.
Okay.
Owalo is a minister in that cabinet. Ojienda is a renowned UDA activist, even though he's elected on ODM ticket.
Okay.
Who has stopped them? And that development they are bringing, it's now second year. Who has stopped them from taking that development to Nyanza? You know, people need to be serious here.
Okay.
If they're pursuing their own individual development, they want to fill their pockets, they should not guilt-trip the community to cheer them into their personal enterprise. Nothing stopped them, and no one has stopped them. And in any event, they are doing it. They're working with him anyway. I don't remember the last time when, for example, their meetings were, for example, disrupted in Nyanza. They've been doing meetings in Nyanza, distributing relief food, launching Wi-Fi in markets. They've visited schools. I've never seen anybody interrupting them.
Okay.
So they can as well continue the development. If that's the development that they perceive, will change the region. But the truth of the matter is this. The Chemelil, Miwani Mamboleo Road, which had been launched during Uhuru Kenyatta's time, has stalled. That was their project. Why have they not lobbied the Ruto government to conclude that project? Moroni, Tuawasi, has stalled. Those are in Kisumu County. Why can't they lobby Ruto to allocate more money for that project to conclude? Those are the tangible things that they should be asked.
Okay.
Miwani Sugar Factory is not working. Moroni still under receivership. Farmers are owed debts, huge debts. There are tangible things they can do today that no one has stopped them from doing. There's a road they've launched in Sakwa. Ruto has launched it 3 times now. In the backyard of Eliud Owalo's village. They launched 3 times, no project going on. Why can't they just lobby and get money for those projects? You know, this thing of saying that, oh, we should work with the president to bring development. You're working with him today. You're already there. So just follow up on the projects that have stalled and conclude them. You too.
Okay.
He's not asking a lot, and no one has stopped them. They have made their choice. If they are facing resistance from the voters, the answer is not to start guilt-tripping the voter to go and support them.
Okay.
Just market yourself, sell yourself. Show that project you are saying you went to bring. Bring it on the ground, tangible. Let them see it. Because what they are seeing are projects which were going on before, have since stalled. And when you look at the budget, even they removed the allocation which was placed for the Kisumu, the Mamboleo, Chemelil road project. It has been removed. That road even passes right behind Professor Jenda's home. The money was removed. Can he lobby now for the money to be allocated in this coming financial year? That's development, which he can do.
Okay.
No one will ever stand in the way of a leader lobbying for projects to go to his locality. They should do it. When you go to Kisumu, there are very many unemployed youths. Can they lobby for jobs for these youths?
Okay.
An environment, economic environment that can create opportunities for the young people. That's all they're asking for. But talking what I call flowery statements without substance will not make people to walk to you, because people want to feel a tangible impact what you're doing.
But the biggest political question that is actually being asked here is this. does the working relationship right now between the former Prime Minister and the President actually remove that kind of betrayal tag from these rebel members of Parliament?
You know, Raila Odinga is not relating with William Ruto politically. For example, like he did with Uhuru Kenyatta. I've told you their interest is purely pegged on the national interest. Kenyan state pursuing a position in the African Union.
Okay.
They are not doing a local arrangement, a local discussion that affects local politics. So it's a different conversation. Their relationship is Kenyan state is looking for a continental position, and Raila Odinga has offered himself as a candidate for that position. So theirs is external. But internally, they are politically, you're not seeing any meetings between, for example, ODM party and UDA party. So politically, they are still not together locally. Their interests are only converging when it comes to continental issues, not local issues. And ODM is well in order to oppose everything that UDA is doing locally. Because they don't have any working relationship as political parties. Yes, and they must play their opposition role and put Ruda to check, which they are doing. But then you have the people who have crossed over, which is their right, by the way, to cross over. There's no problem with that. Because you make your own policy, you have Article 38 right to, and you allow them to sell their manifesto, their platforms. And the voters will choose who is the best. If they believe that Kenya Kwanza is the best for the region, they can go and market it. ODM should also feel free to market itself as the best for the region. And even Sabina will market ourselves in the region as the best, which everybody can clearly see. We are the best.
Now, but you've not answered my question on the betrayal tag from this. Does it actually take it?
The only part of betrayal is very simple. They were elected on ODM ticket. That's the only betrayal. That they went in as Azimio or ODM, then they cross over. That's the only time when they're being called betrayers. That when they were campaigning, they were in ODM. Once they got office, they crossed over. That's the only reason why they're called betrayers. But it is well within their rights to choose their political party. And maybe they should pursue it further and relinquish their positions and go for by-election.
But does it actually now affect them in terms of community influence and getting that kind of political mileage from the particular region from which they come?
Because they are undermined as within their political framework. How much are they going to engage with the UDA? Because they are still ODM members of parliament. Are they contributing to their political party? They are maybe paying their monthly subscriptions. Are they attending their party meetings? Are they implementing the policies of ODM? Are they able to sit in committees representing ODM? Those are the questions that they ask. Now, those questions, since the answers to all of them are no, then they are no longer representing their party and the voters who voted for them in their party. They are now representing the interests, the policies of the opponent. That is why they are called betrayers. But they are right to choose their make their political choices. And they should not be called betrayers for making that choice. Maybe just to ask them to leave their political party and seek fresh mandates or formally join their party of choice. Then I make them enemies. Because people are free to make their political choices. I have made my political choice. It's not in ODM. But you'll never hear me throwing stones at ODM. Because I want to seduce ODM members to walk with me in my political journey. But then sometimes you see some of them throwing jabs at ODM members, so there's a back and forth, constant back and forth between the two. How do you convince somebody you are insulting each other with to join you? Our politics are different type. As we sell our ideology, we sell our policy, and we're showing people the difference between us and them. And we'll seduce ODM members to join us, to walk this journey with us.
So that you form the next government. So
we shall form the next government.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is a conversation that we've had here with Wakili Willis Otieno. He's definitely talking about a lot of issues that are actually happening within the country. You can weigh in on this conversation and tell us what you think on what we've just discussed here. Allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment. But if you're watching us for the first time, kindly subscribe to this channel. And of course, let's talk and engage via various social media platforms, be it Facebook, X, TikTok, and even Instagram. Get me there at Evans or Kini across all those social media platforms. Allow me to stop for now. Have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.